one of my last videos I said, when somebody is giving you a problem, just being a prick, you sometimes need to put yourself in their shoes. And at the end of that video, I kind of said, not always. And this is that video where I'm just going to say, sometimes you got to say, fuck that, and I'm going to treat you accordingly now. So there's going to be times in your life where you're going to be more so inclined to be empathetic to people's situations. However, people have a threshold of how much bullshit they can take before they just say enough is enough. The next person that comes at me with some disrespect can get it. And that's really what it comes down to. At a certain point, you're supposed to be the bigger person and be understanding. But some people don't understand that, and some people think disrespect is just the way to go. And sometimes those people need to be checked. And if that means it can escalate to a fight or a shouting match or somebody getting hurt, I'm not condoning or saying that you need to be violent, but some people need to understand that violence is the only way for them to respect you. And there are times where you have to be like, I don't give a shit about what happened to you today. This does not warrant you to push me, shove me, cuss me out because you're having a bad day just because I happen to work in customer service. And this is one of the reasons why, for those who watch YouTube and go through the media, why you're seeing a lot more situations where people are fighting with each other in the stores. The problem is the customer believes that their life is shit right now, so they want to go to a grocery store or a restaurant or clothing store, any type of store where there's people working behind a counter or somebody that's a clerk. And the customer believes that I'm going to take out how I feel on you because I don't like what's going on in my life, so I'm going to treat you like shit and there's nothing you can do about it. And what these people have failed to realize is, yes, we can be empathetic with your situation that you're upset because things are not going right for you. However, why does that need to entail every time for the person on the job needs to be the punching bag? Why does customer service mean or entail that I need to be a punching bag for everybody's fucking problems who comes into the store? Fuck that. And I have been fortunate to where I didn't have too many situations like that. But I did have one with somebody when I worked at Lowe's. Guy just came in and was just a prick all around, and I finally had to check his ass. He was just being very rude, and he was saying, well, I don't see this. Like, sir, it's right here. You have an attitude problem. I said, no, I don't have an attitude problem, but you're coming in here shouting at me, and at a certain point, I'm getting to the point where I'm just going to walk away from you. I don't have to put up with your shit. And then the guy got really mad. So, I'm going to go talk to your manager. I said, go the fuck ahead. I don't really care at this point. Like, I was already irritated because I'm trying to help you and you're cussing me out and you're being loud and obnoxious just because you think you can. And he never went and talked to the manager. He just realized that I'm not going to be that person you can fuck with today. I didn't care about what he was going through. I didn't care what he was. And here's the thing. When I look back on it, I think the guy had come into the store before and had issues. I come to find I had other issues with other people. He happened to be homosexual. And now I'm not saying that his behavior was because he was gay. I think he was having issues with his own identity, that he just would come in and just, depending on who he saw, he would just be a problem because he went to different sections of the store periodically over those couple weeks, and would just have issues with people. Like, just went to electrical was being a problem, went to plumbing was being a problem, went to hardware was being a problem, went to outside garden, like, and people were just, it got to a point where I think I was the second to last one on the list or something, and I kind of find out, somebody at electrical saw the situation, they're like, dude, like, he did that shit to me like yesterday. I'm like, what? And just come to find out, like, he had some issues, so he was just coming back to the store to try to take it out on the clerks. But when we got into it, it was just like, I'm not going to be understanding to what's going on in your personal life. I don't fucking care. I don't care. Your behavior, whatever's going on in your life, doesn't mean you can come to the store and treat me like shit because your life sucks. And especially with me, with how I tend to be a lot like that as opposed to empathetic, is that whenever I go into a place of business, I don't care where it is, where I go get fast, I go get takeout, I go to the movies, I go to any place where somebody's serving me whatever it is I'm asking for, they're doing their job, I don't give them shit. I never do. I've seen other people do it, and I just say, when everything's said, I said, hey, I just want to say thank you for helping me check out my stuff. And they said, they'd be shocked and surprised and be like, no, I know what it's like to work in customer service. I treat people how you want to be treated, and I'm not going to give you more shit or give you more problems because you're just doing your job. You don't have control over the inventory or whatever. They're like, oh, thank you so much. And I try to do that at times because I used to work customer service in that regard, retail, and it sucked. And I always keep in the back of my mind that if there's a long line, it's not the clerk's fault. Except if you go to Walmart, because Walmart tends to be really shitty, from what I've seen. But there's times where things are out of control of the people who work there. It's the management, and management's not dealing with the public as much as you think as they should. So that's the thing. However, some people, sometimes it warrants you to be apathetic to their situation. And as I've said, a lot of reasons why you're having shootings at these places, you're having these fist fights on camera or being recorded, where people are just coming over the counter and getting mollywopped. People are throwing stuff at drive-thrus, they're throwing stuff at the customer, they're yelling, picking up chairs, fighting in the lobbies and stuff. And really what it comes down to is the customer doesn't want to empathize with the people that work there, and the people that work there are fed up with how they're being treated, so they don't want to empathize with the customer in regards to why are they acting the way they're acting, instead of trying to de-escalate the situation. So you got both sides tense, and then it only leads to both sides being apathetic to the other, and it leads to violence. Every single time it leads to violence. Every single time. And people, from what I've been seeing lately, is that people think, oh, it's because of COVID, or they think it's because of, they lost their job, or this, or it's just, no, it's not just that. It's just people have become more conditioned to where they don't have to give a shit. They feel they don't have to give a shit about the other person, and they feel they're entitled to treat the other person like shit and get away with it. Now people you could be listening to me like, I don't believe that. Hey, to each their own. I just personally think that's what it is, because, for example, if somebody had a gun on their side on the side of their holster, and it's licensed to carry, if California had a license if everybody had a license to carry, do you think people would be more inclined to yell and cuss and argue with another person, or be polite and just say, excuse me, sir, sorry, hey, you know what, I apologize, I know I sound if I'm a little wound up, I just got a bunch of stuff going on, could you please help me? If you had a lot more people carrying firearms on themselves, I think people would be less inclined to get into each other. And you're thinking, well, why do you have to do that? The point is, there's certain parts of the United States where where people have license to carry, and you don't see a lot of arguing. You don't see a lot of disrespect. There are still people doing it, but it's not as much because this person understands. I don't know if that other person has a gun. I have a gun on me. And they have a saying: if you pull that gun out, you better use it. Every time you pull your gun out, you're supposed to be using it. You never just pull it out just to pull it out. Also, every time you pull your gun on somebody, plan on dying. And the thing of it is that because of that, people are less inclined to be apathetic and be more empathetic because they realize that disrespecting this person I don't know can lead to me getting killed or me having to kill him or kill her or whatever. So let me check my tone, be respectful, and if I make a mistake, just say, "Excuse me, sir, I apologize." You'd be surprised how quick you can de-escalate a situation. Because the person you bump into, they might already be ready they're already done with society. So you bumping into them, they've already been planning to use their gun to shoot somebody you're the person they shoot, just because you couldn't be cordial. Yeah. So with that being said, I will catch you guys on the next one. Take care.